I will teach you a very simple strategy that you can use to win way more chess games. I will demonstrate this by playing a game with my rating climb account. We are almost at 1400 rating. So let's play a game. So what is the strategy? We will try to just play the most solid moves, meaning I will try to basically not make any mistake. I will also play the Pegasus system, which is my own opening system. Because I honestly believe that if all you do is focus on not making any mistakes, you will have way better results than if you actually try to memorize some opening line or try to defeat your opponent with a trick. So that is why I really believe in playing solid chess. I really like this opening, the Pegasus system, my own opening, because I think it's just amazing because it's so easy to play and you don't really need to memorize anything. This is a bit of a strange move that I usually don't see that much anymore. It's usually also a bad move, can lead to some very quick losses if you pin this. This move allows them to sometimes strike back with e5, and that is in general not what you want to see happening in this opening. So what I will do is I will pin the knight, and I was going to say that if they play e6, oftentimes they are putting themselves in a lot of trouble already. Because you can basically pile up the pressure on the knight and the bishop can no longer go back to protect it. So yeah, I think that looks like it's already somewhat problematic for my opponent. They can still try this move. That is basically the only move that works in the position, queen to d6. But you can see that this is not really what you want to have as black. We are going to continue with pawn to c4, basically just normal development, activating pieces, and this also is very nice because if they take, we will get an extra knight in there. If they don't, we will get to poke at their queen, basically force their queen to move, and then we will have a winning position already here because, well, the queen has to move, and once the queen moves, she will also no longer be guarding this knight, so that will be a big problem. And if the queen moves to one of those squares, which is basically mandatory, we will also be able to grab this knight with an attack on the queen, which means we can also do a check. So as you can see, chess doesn't have to be very difficult if you play a solid opening, and if you mainly focus on understanding chess, being good at your tactics instead of trying to memorize variations. So this is a very, very nice position. We are up material, which basically means there's only one thing left to do, and that is to simplify as much as we possibly can. And simplification means trading pieces, but there is very good news. They are just giving us another free piece because I can play queen to a4 and the knight is attacked twice. It's only, oh, they can protect it with this move. I was going to say they are losing it anyways, but they can protect it with this move. I actually never saw that coming. I was getting a little bit excited that I would have an extra free piece. But that is not true. They can guard it backwards. Yeah, pawns can move forward. I almost forgot about that. So maybe have to focus a little bit more. But of course, still, we are winning. This is free, everything is free. And it looks very difficult to play from the black side. But I also don't want to run into any trouble with my king. So what I think I will actually do is castle. Because then at least we are safe. And no matter what they try, we are in a good position. And if they take, we always have the queen guarding and also the rook can come over. I think I will now just snatch this knight, because in the end, trading is beneficial if we are winning. I can take this, but we are probably going to lose the pawn in the center. So that's a little bit of a trade-off. Or I have to move my queen and also keep an eye on it, which might be the best plan. Because one of the things, of course, I don't want to happen is I don't want to give my opponent any unnecessary counterplay. So I am always on the lookout for counterplay. I mean, they already have a queen and bishop here, so even if you are up material, you still have to be respectful to your opponent and play decent chess. Because if you start getting cocky, like I was basically doing a moment ago, it is very easy to also miss something and then still lose the game. But I think this is still fine. We still have a good center, we still have more material, and I really need to get these pieces into the game. Because there's not really any reason to have extra material and then just not use it, and you are basically just playing with a handicap. So I think this makes sense. We attack the queen, we also protect our pawn. Yeah, looks like it makes sense. Also protects this, of course, which is under attack. So I think that looks like a good move. I want to get some pieces towards my king because that will mean I will be a little bit more safe over there. Plus it's also an attack. And now I can activate this bishop. I was also already looking at this move as well. Maybe pawn to c6, maybe some type of tactic in the future. But I don't think we've got anything really going on right now. Queen here, I can actually just attack it and keep kicking around the queen. But honestly, I don't think it matters. They will just move and I will eventually get into some awkward positioning where I will be having a hanging bishop eventually here. And then if my knight ever moves, that's a problem. Um, so I think this might be solid. Just fixing our center. Wow. Who would have guessed they would have played the bishop here to g4? Well, I thought that would be their move because it makes sense. They try to double up the pawns. But it doesn't really help, I think, because we still have this move. And that also, yeah, attacks the bishop. Potentially fork if they go to the wrong square, for example, if they go back. Other than that, I think it's just a simple move. And our king is still very, very safe. As long as I think I have these two minor pieces and my rook here, there's probably never really any danger. Yeah, it's interesting. Should I push this pawn? I think pushing this pawn is funny because if we push it, we actually have the fork on the next move. But at the same time, if they see it and they just move the rook, then I push the pawn for no reason. And that's also a little bit awkward maybe to have the pawn on that square. But I think it might be something that I can try. Or I could try to pick up some of these pawns. I think that's also possible. For example, queen a5. And then just let's play the simple move. Because as I said, even if you are winning, you still have to pay respect to your opponent. Because otherwise, I have had games where it can go terribly, terribly wrong. Especially today, it's not really my sharpest day either. But we are fine. I think we are going to win this game. Yeah, I think everything looks fine. Honestly, I don't really see much for black. But I have to make sure that I really pay attention and don't miss anything because they are still attacking. They still have some counter-attacking opportunities and I really don't want to make a mistake. I think the best option will be to just keep maneuvering and basically just go back again and then take. And then we still have the queen here eyeing up these two pawns. But he is putting up some defense for somebody who is already losing, basically. Okay, I think we can finally grab a free pawn. I don't know which one I want. I think probably c7 is better because then the queen also gets some defense role and we might be pushing for a queen. Okay. And I was going to say my biggest wish right now would be to trade queens. So I wanted to play this, but that would be a free queen. We still have to be careful. We can't play such moves. I think we might be actually just playing this again. Which it feels like I have done this move way too many times already, but I think it still works. And of course, if we get some trades going, that would be fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. Unless if I'm missing something super obvious, but I think this should be fine. It's gonna be a bit strange with the split pawns, but I think I will use my bishop as a temporary pawn to hold everything together in that case. And I also don't really see if he can avoid the queen trade easily, because he can't go here, he can't go here. If he goes here, I think he will be attacked by the bishop, potentially. Plus, we might have some checkmating patterns. The funniest checkmating pattern is actually this one. Bishop here, 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 and then go for the checkmate. Like that. And pushing f5 doesn't work, but I think pushing f6 might stop that, then we have to take. Would be funny if we got that position, but I don't think we will see it in this game. Yeah. I think everything is fine. He is thinking for a long time, but I have to say sometimes when they are losing, they just leave the game. I've had this happen sometimes, and then I just sit here talking to nobody for a couple of minutes. It has happened. But I feel like as I am climbing the rating ladder, it should start happening less often. But he is still alive. He is still playing for tricks. I can't go for this funny checkmate. He would be winning my bishop. I think we can take this pawn for free. And I don't really see anything. We have to always pay attention to discoveries, but I don't think there are any discoveries. By the way, if you ever heard me saying a specific word and you don't know what it means, you should really go to pegasuschess.com. For example, here the discovery attack, I have an entire free chapter. Basically, I have 3 free courses which you can use if you want to improve. So pegasuschess.com, you should definitely check it out. I've gotten a lot of good reviews about it as well. But I think here this should be easy. I am playing a little bit more endgames nowadays. I used to not play that many endgames, but most of you have told me that you think watching these endgames is very interesting and you learn from them. So I listen to the advice and I try to play more endgames. I have to say this queen is really annoying me. Like, really, really annoying me. I think I might try to either go for a queen trade or I just start pushing pawns, but it's probably not going to promote anytime soon. I'll just see if I can maybe try to propose him a beautiful queen trade. And if we get the queen traded, that will basically limit the calculation for the rest of the game. If he doesn't trade the queens, okay, I will start pushing and I will make a queen. Probably I already misplayed a bunch of moves which would have been a little bit better according to the engine, but sometimes it's also just about keeping things simple instead of trying to make things perfect and then just mess up. Yeah, I'm just gonna propose a queen trade. I don't really see any problems with that. Yeah, he can deny if he wants to, but if he really doesn't want to trade, I'll activate my rooks and I'll start pushing pawns. Because at the end of the day, we still have 4 pawns here versus 1, so this should be a win. But these endgame conversions, if they really try to defend as he is doing, it can get difficult, but I think he just missed a little bit of a tactic. And yeah, he just saw it. I think he just missed a little bit of a tactic here. But other than that, I think this was a great instructive game. If you want to learn more, you should watch this video next.